I'm Coco.
I'm Carson. Let's get
Let's get
tribal.
tribal. Surprised you, didn't I? I'm bringing Coco back. Okay.
What is the Coco origin
I
story?
have no idea. I don't even remember at this point, and it won't stick. So I'm just going to keep saying it until it does. That's how
All
that is.
right.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. We did take notes.
Yes, I actually took notes for this episode too. I haven't
I
taken notes in a really long time.
I do every episode.
No, you don't.
Yes. What do you think this notebook is for?
I am actually really interested to read some of your notes. Could you give us a sample?
Um.
What did you write down word for word?
Andy, oddball, kick him to the curb, and then I put South Pacific emotions.
Ooh. So you're
That's
like a kind of like a word pops up, you write it down sort of person, less about what's going, yeah. Because mine are more well, okay, so I write general concepts. So one of the things I wrote down was indecision versus decisiveness. But then I also write things like Rome told Teeny about the beware advantage, just so I have a reference. But I used to do this when I was really studying the game because my grandparents and I would call after every episode and we would have an hour long deep dive into the episode, mainly the strategy. And this is why, and we did that because I was preparing for the show and they were watching it for the first time. So I was getting them up to speed so that they weren't all the challenges are so amazing. You know how everyone starts and they're all about Ozzy is so amazing at the challenges. And you're but it's
I
not about the challenges.
It's so, no offense, and it's so true. It's it's the people who, I don't want to compare fandom, but it's the people who really don't understand good.
When anyone ever starts a show, I rarely see people interested in just the social politics unless they have watched reality
Yeah, that's
TV in the
true. No,
past.
that's true because it's like, what do we want? What do we got? It's so. Ugh, I hate the challenges.
And
Good.
I don't think it's always about the strategy. I think I've always been someone to appreciate someone like Courtney Yates who just makes me laugh. You know what I mean?
I
Which,
just
by the way, what
it's just like the challenges.
the challenge? Jonathan is so good. He's the most, and he is really good at the challenge. He was
Yeah,
pretty amazing
he
at
he
that.
stood out, and it was like, wow. Yeah, that
I
was
mean,
really.
it was he was
Are
pretty
we talking
epic.
Jonathan from 42?
42. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was when I had most vivid.
yes,
Um,
it was like a Goliath going in the water. Of course, it's like that stands out, but everybody else, we don't know who you are unless you're literally a monster, or not a monster, unless you are like a mammoth Hercules type. I'm not going to remember.
I feel like we
It's
remember Ozzy for being a
Yeah,
fish.
duh, and Ozzy, yes, absolutely, but otherwise, you're not standing out.
All right. Well, we're going to be deep diving into the episode.
All right, so where are we at? I don't know what this is Survivor 47, but I don't know what we were watching because I thought I was watching South Pacific. Yes, I did. There was a
In what
lot,
way?
and it's not just because of what's his name? The wolf in wolf's clothing, Mr. Wolf. What's his name? And I'm not saying that because you know
Sam?
how what
Sam?
is that his name? The wolf in wolf clothing?
Wait, I don't remember that quote.
Girl, the beginning, the intro or the beginning of the season, he's like blah 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 sheep's clothing. I'm a wolf in wolf's clothing. You don't remember who I'm talking? Girl, the guy on the yellow tribe, the guy, the um. Oh my God, Jerry looks so
Sam.
cute. So basically, like the conventionally attractive male,
Yes,
for
Sam.
yes. And I'm not just saying these vibes just because he's like a stereotypical what attractive would be if you looked at. No, I feel like that tribe is giving bully vibes. Yes, I do. Not just because the beauty queen is on there and the guy who is what I don't even know. I don't like it, and it was just reminding me of South Pacific. Yes, it was. I don't like when people talk about people, they're playing checkers and I'm playing chess.
That was
We're
TK, or was
human.
that TK? Well, there was a lot. Okay, I mean
No,
that
no,
might
no,
be a
no. That's
theme
I'm
for
not
this
done. This is
episode.
very South Pacific. I was getting very good. Oh, you're
No, I
being too
know.
sensitive, Carolyn. I don't like them talking about Andy like that. I don't. I don't. That is a human, and I don't care. And I know that. Oh, you're too sensitive, and it's a game, and you probably would make fun of Andy too, Carson. And I'm here to stop you. But
No,
it's
I
just
wouldn't.
like it was just like I get it, like the gameplay of it, where it's like we got it. We need something from Andy. He needs something from us. But it was just like it gave my heart a like. I would have cried if you would have talked about me like that. Yes, I would.
I mean, I do
Good.
agree that I think there is a theme
Andy
for
is
this
the
season thus
oddball.
far,
Andy is
and
an
I think
oddball, and we could easily kick him to the curb. So when he found that idol, I was like rooting for him.
yeah, you texted me, and
Go ahead.
I already had a feeling. I was like, something's gonna go wrong, or he's gonna tell somebody. He's probably gonna tell Sam, and he did end up telling Sam. But I think there is a theme for this season thus far, and I think that
Good. They're
theme is
giving bully
arrogance.
vibes.
Okay, I do see what you mean, where you have Andy on a tribe with Annika, Rachel, Sam, and Sierra, and it very much so seems that Andy is by himself, but he thinks that he has a friend in Sam, and then
It's
Sam.
mean. Good, but that's the game. I get. Oh no, it's not because you
Well,
just
I
don't
will
need to
say
talk
I
about
think that
people like
Sam
that.
is playing a good game in the respect of the social aspect, because him and Sierra are tight, him and Annika are tight.
I forgot you're
Andy
into
is his
that.
number one. So if you think about it, like
I
in
don't
terms
think
of
about it
people
like
he
that.
gets
That's the
along
point.
with, I think that he is really well situated. Now, do I think his strategy of having everybody know about his, his beware advantage, I think it's just hard to manage. We'll see if he's able to actually get out of that. Um, but
Carson,
it's
everything
been,
I just said went in one ear and out the other for you.
no, I was getting to the whole like big bully thing, but I was saying, I
I
do
don't like the
think
way you
that
talked about him.
you're talking about like Annika calling him, I think I wrote it down, a toxic, clingy boyfriend.
Oh, that was kind of cute. I thought that was kind of
I thought that was funny. I was about to say, I thought
ah,
that was a little bit funny
because
because
but
the
that was
vibes
funny.
are there.
But I just feel like they're overdoing it. Like they're oh, it's like overkill, and it's like
I
almost to the
disagree
point
with
where
you.
they're just yes, where they're just making fun of him.
I don't
People
feel like they're making fun of him, Carolyn. When Andy and Sam were, were Sam when Sam was babysitting Andy basically by, with him and hanging out, and Sam just, or yeah, Sam has to go use the bathroom for like a quick second. Andy runs off, and then he's all of a
as he
sudden
should
like, okay, but what I'm saying is, I think there's a reason that he's been ousted, and he kind of has done that to himself. Not only
for
has
being
he,
himself and being an oddball.
no, I mean, the
Always the
way
odd
he
ones that
spilled
are
all the
outcasted.
beans in the last episode, the way that he has just runs off and then goes and idol searches, he's messy. And so I don't know if any of them
He's
trust him, and
different.
I don't think
Get
any
it?
of them
He's
should.
different. He's different. That's what he has. He is different from the rest of them. That's all it is. Oh,
Well,
he's
but we
messy.
did
Of course
see
he's
that.
messy. Of course he is messy, but the more importantly though, he is different from the others. And that makes him the odd one out. It's true. They literally said that he's the oddball, easy first boot or easy boot. Not
Well,
buying.
they're saying that, but are we just led to believe that? Because then Sam says to Sierra, "I'd rather someone else go before
Yeah.
Andy."
Good. I'm pissed at them.
I don't
Good.
know. I don't. I think Andy has done this to himself. Um, I do. I think there was some underlying energy from the girls and Sam that might have not included him in the first place. Maybe, but I do feel as though Sam has done a really good job making Andy feel comfortable. So, but that's my opinion.
As a game bot, I get it.
I'm not necessarily saying Sam is being authentic, but I
I
mean,
just don't like, okay, I like the people with the feelings. Again, and we all like, and you can like that and be like, that's a great play. I like watching people who are like showing themselves cry. I do. I like the emotional, but that's just, so this is my opinion. That's all. I like
yeah.
that. I don't like to watch, if I wanted to watch football, I would watch on whatever night that was. I'm watching a show about human connections, not robotic ones.
Okay, speaking of human connections, let's look like the Red Tribe, where you have Rome immediately sharing with Teeny that he found his little
Oh,
box. Teeny naturally immediately running over to Keyshawn and telling
I am sick
him,
of it. Yep.
I can't believe these people. And I every second of that scene, I was sitting there with my head shaking, like, what
No.
are people doing? Not only did Rome, if it started with Rome, let's get it that clear, but he
Why did Rome
very
tell
much
that? Why
so.
did Rome tell Teeny?
Okay, and so his logic was because I want to build trust.
Well,
And
that's
like,
everybody's, and it doesn't. So anyone, future players out there, I'm the only smart one who's ever like kept it a secret. Who else in the new era has kept an idol a secret? Who? Anyone, Carson? Exactly. It doesn't.
Marianne, and she
Oh,
won.
Marianne. Exactly. And I almost could have in another
So
world.
here's my opinion on
No,
sharing
let me talk, Carson.
information. Oh,
It
sorry.
doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't build trust. It doesn't do anything. Like you can't. And here's the thing: like you gotta trust some people. It's like day what 3? You don't need. Did I trust you? Yeah, I did. Did I trust Jam Jam? Yes, I did. There's no reason why you need to know that information that early on in the game. It's not going to help
Yeah.
you. So don't in the future, future players, future don't. Don't tell anybody. You don't unless they walk and creep up on you, don't. Uh-uh.
I do think there are situations where it can make sense. For example, on
Like
our
yours.
season, I felt like it made sense for me to when I got to the Orange tribe, when I had to switch tribes, I was in a position where I was the new person and everyone else already knew each other. And and I knew with my idol, it was one of those temporary ones where eventually they're all going to find out anyways. And I only have what I thought was
That
two
was different.
tribals to
Yeah.
use it if I was even
Yeah.
going. And there was even the chance I wouldn't go at all and they would find out. So it was like, I know they're going to find out and I know they're all going to find out. If I don't share
Yeah.
this with them, then when that does happen, it's a ticking time bomb of they're never going to trust me. But if I
Yeah.
can, if I am going to say I'm going to play it the first time, then that takes out all of the what ifs, and I ended up using it as a way, kind of like Sam did, where every single person on my tribe knew. But here's the thing, and this is what I'm not as like certain on with a position that Sam was in, was he didn't have a ticking time bomb in his idol, he or whatever he
Yes.
had. Like he could still like work at it to get it, last, to make it last longer. So I don't think that applies to a situation that any of these tribes are in. So the fact that Rome is telling Teeny about it, the fact that Sam has told almost his entire tribe, actually I think his entire tribe, and then you have on the other tribe, Gabe has told Caroline, and it's just like, what are they
For
doing? Are they
what?
just casting people that
You're
just can't
bored.
shut up? Or is it like, I just
Good.
don't
We're
get it.
talking crap about you all.
I don't get it. And it
Like
doesn't make
good. People,
sense
I've
at
made a lot
all.
of mistakes. I've made so many mistakes, especially playing the game. But like that's one. Like I'm proud of myself. Good, I am. I kept that a good little secret. Yes, I did. And that's
You
just the way.
did.
That's one of the things my sister said even before playing. She's like, don't. She's like, first of all, your voice gives people anxiety sometimes. So I tried to talk like kind of cute at first until I like had to get down to business. But secondly, she said, Carolyn, don't go searching for idols the first day. And when you get that idol, because I know you will, don't tell anybody ever. Don't
And you
tell.
didn't.
Duh.
Well, but you did at the very end before you needed to use it. And it was like
Yeah.
you
I mean,
last second, and you knew I wouldn't
yes.
have time to go tell people. Like that was just,
No,
I mean,
that was like we were about to get. It was getting dark. I knew you weren't. Come on, girl.
so okay, here's my question. Is it temptation? Is it that people feel so excited
I think people are excited and they do think it's.
and it
I
gets
don't know. I don't even know.
I feel like it's a mix of excitement and also like almost I genuinely don't know. I mean, it's such a weird thing that's
No,
just been a
nobody
trend
keeps it a secret. No one, and it's not working.
and consistently over and over again, season after season, you see one person tells someone that person has no obligation not to tell everybody else. So then Teeny goes
Exactly.
and tells Keyshawn. Now that moment where Teeny told Keyshawn how messy, he Rome walks up behind them, and then Teeny thinks that she slid her way out. It was bad,
I
bad
think she
on
did a really great
every
job, though.
part. The only person in a good position in that whole tribe was Keyshawn. He just sat there and listened and let the craziness ensue. Now he's in the power position where he knows the information. He's not in any way in trouble. And so, in my opinion, like the
Yeah.
best position you can be in is in a position where you're someone like Sierra or Keyshawn or Caroline, where you have information shared with you, but you haven't necessarily shared that with anyone else, and then you have all the power because once you share that information, you give that power to someone else,
Yeah,
and
but
so
those people
those are
too
now
are
the
kind of
power
quiet and
players.
creepy too. Like you can't be a quiet little like just getting all the information and not sharing either.
No, but you
That
can.
time
But the
runs
thing
out
is,
too.
it's not your beginning information to share. That information doesn't directly affect you unless you let it, or if something belongs to you. But in my opinion, the strongest and most powerful players in this game are the people with the most information and who are able to leverage that in order to further their game. Because if you think about our season, get back to it, like everyone knew Danny had the idol, and that made the
Yeah.
power of holding the idol go down so quickly
Yeah.
because everyone else was able to manage it without him actually realizing it, and then we were able to take control of it. So once you
Everyone knew
share
like
that
I was
information, it's not your information anymore. um
these
Girl,
idols though.
kidding.
It's I was like, but I get it. Like people get excited.
So okay, let's say that you were teeny and someone just shared that they had an idol with you or something.
I
What
wouldn't
would
do
you do with
that.
that?
Good. I
No,
wouldn't.
but like let's say you were on the receiving end. What would you do? Would you tell somebody?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
Nope. That is a
I,
secret. No,
I feel
not right
like I
away.
could.
Not that quick. Not that quick. I would kind of like sniff it out. I would if I like didn't if I didn't want to work with that person with Rome, then maybe yeah, I wouldn't like okay. I wouldn't, but I still wouldn't like I wouldn't break the trust of Rome too. Work with both. That was too
Yeah,
quick. Like you just right away. It was too quick. I would not right away. No, Carson. So
yeah.
sorry, I take that back, you monster. Yes, I would, but not that soon. It was too
Not
quick.
that soon.
No.
All right, well, we'll come back with more thoughts on the rest of the episode. I really want to talk about the decision that Andy made when he found the beware advantage and then decided to leave it, then go back, and that whole indecisiveness versus Sam's decisiveness. And so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Blue Tribe going to Tribal and that
Ticky
craziness.
Tacky. What the hell are these tribe names? I'm so sick of it. Taku and
Blue
all
Tribe.
this.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, we'll be back. I want to talk specifically about
Yeah.
Andy because we've
Yeah.
talked about Andy a lot, but Andy in the beware advantage. So Andy is in the woods. He runs up to and this was fun. I don't know if you were doing this too, but like it's so much fun to watch the Yellow Tribe for me because I know exactly where they are. So they're showing
Oh
all
yeah.
these events, and it's like I know where Andy is, where he found that beware advantage, or I know that where the X is, I know where the water well is, and so it's fun to watch them go in different directions and be
That was
like,
our beat.
you can
Yeah.
you can literally place where they are. Okay, the back to where
What did
Andy
you
was. By
think?
the way,
What did you think when he was like, "This is it's a lot harder out here. This is a big beach." The first thing I thought was like, I didn't think. No, good. Could I get a shine control? The first thing I thought was like, I don't think it was there. Okay, you hear that all the time. Like it's a lot bigger than you think, or it's a lot harder than you think out there. It was pretty easy for me. No, good. I know. Carson, I'm just hear me for a minute. You had you, Sarah, Helen, Jam Jam. First of all, Jam Jam was digging holes like uh, an idol isn't going to be 12 feet underground. Y'all were all like, you were digging holes all in the same spot. They're not all like, come on. It's like if you walk, and I got up in the trees and was doing all that stuff. That's just because I wanted to do that stuff. I was on Survivor. But you get
No,
what I
but
mean?
the
It's not
island
as
is very big, Carolyn. Very big.
yes, but we have like you can't go here. You can
No, I know,
only go
but
here.
even that area
Do you
is
really think an
massive.
idol? Do you really think an idol is going to be? Let's think of like the cameras and filming. Do you really think one is? There's just areas where you know they're not going to be. Girl,
Well, I will say where you found our beach idol, I would have never thought it would be there. Never. So
you're lazy though when it came to that. So
I
I've not
am.
even.
Well, you know what? It's not laziness,
It
Carolyn.
was in a
It's
tree
fear.
trunk thing, or excuse me, it was in
It's
a rut.
it's
Please,
fear,
Carson.
Carolyn. I have an irrational fear of snakes, and I don't like putting my hands in creepy crawly spaces. And if that means I don't get an idol, so what? I'll have my friend play it on
That's
me. I'm
part of the
kidding.
adventure. That's part of the adventure.
No, you're right. I don't know. I was very scared of that. But at least in Fiji, most of the snakes live in the trees, so I was less prone to be up in the trees than anything. But back to Andy finding the beware advantage. He finds
Oh,
it in that tree spot, which is close to camp, by the way. And he's like, I'm gonna put it back. So here's my question. When you know how it says like either leave the beware advantage or take it, could you theoretically take the beware advantage and then go and hide it somewhere better, or like, in the same vicinity, right? Like just like in a more place where someone
was
won't
his not
find it.
hidden very well? His was more
No,
in
it
plain
was
sight.
literally in that like plain sight area where you walk through. So
So
I
what the
saw him.
heck were you thinking, Andy? I'm pissed because I was like, yes, this is what we need. I like to root for the underdogs, the weirdos, the oddballs. I love that. So I got Rome on that one tribe and I got Andy on this tribe. Like, keep being the weirdos. Those are the ones I'm rooting for. And they both have idols. I'm excited watching. And then he screwed it up. I was pissed. Yeah.
Well,
What the hell
left it,
is back
and
there?
then he goes back to the beach and he thinks about it for 2 hours. But by the time he gets back and he goes looks again, Sam has gotten it. And first of all, I think you should always hide a beware advantage if you find it, and hide it better, where it's not going to be just seen when you're
Come
walking.
on. Good. That was different. So now we're confusing. That's different than like the idol, the beware. Like I'm saying how ours was hidden. Ours wasn't a beware advantage. It wasn't like out
Right.
in the open.
That's true. Okay,
It was
but
hidden more. Is what I'm saying.
you
So when
have
he was,
Sam who goes and finds it, and he just opens it right up. And I think this is a perfect example of Survivor casting people who are decisive versus indecisive, just like they have like to have a variety of every different personality. Like I am the person who is very decisive. I decide something in the
yeah,
instant. I don't go back. And like unless there's new information that presents a new case for me to consider, but like I don't ever question something. I book a flight to Hawaii and I'm like, I'm going, and I never question it, and I actually go. And then, but there's people like Andy who get the beware advantage. They're like, I have to think about it. And then I don't know what they have to think about. I really don't. Like
what do
sometimes
you
I
mean you
understand,
don't
like
know what they have
consider.
to think about? Do I want
I,
to? Okay,
but
it's a
like it would
beware
take me
advantage,
like five
Carson.
seconds.
Do I want to lose
Okay.
my vote?
I don't know. I just don't get it. So I think it's just a perfect example of like how indecision on a show like Survivor can really screw you up.
What do you mean? He had a lot to think about. We didn't have like that. Do
Carolyn,
it's a
the
beware advantage.
question was, do I open this and go and potentially find something but have a consequence, or
Yeah,
don't open it?
that's a lot
That was
to.
the
That's a
I don't
lot.
think that's that much to consider. Like,
Yeah,
how have you not thought about that decision before you get there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we watch the show. Like, let's think. Like I feel like everyone should go there with the expectation: if I find a beware advantage, will I open or not?
I don't like
Context
the way that you're
dependent as
talking
well.
about Andy.
I like Andy. I'm just saying. I think this is a great example of indecision messing somebody up, and maybe it didn't because he's not losing anything. But like, oh my gosh, just
No,
how
I was
crazy
annoyed.
that
I'm like,
was.
I'm not rooting for you anymore.
Okay, so then all right, they go to the challenge. The blue team loses, and you have that moment where TK is like throwing shade at his tribe, but it looks like it's specifically directed to Tiana or T. And I don't know. I kind of was like, what is he doing? Talking about like, people shouldn't be smiling after Jeff just says like most of the
Oh,
tribe is
but there's always
smiling.
wasn't Q like that too? I was like, shut up, Q. Oh, like, no, we work hard and like, yeah, good. You know what I'm saying? That was so funny that Jelinski and him, whatever that first and Jelinski's that he gives up. I
And he's
love him.
like, we don't give
I
up.
wish he would
Yeah.
have been out the whole season. Anyways, but like, you know what I mean? That type, like, that's what we do and we don't give up. And like, yeah, okay.
But we
Now I'm gonna
lost.
go, and now I'm gonna go back to camp and I'm gonna tell everybody what to do. I was like, girl,
Well, then they get back to camp and Tiana's mad. And I mean,
yeah.
clearly it affected her a lot because, and it seemed as though she wasn't fully getting along with TK. But I thought the way that he handled that was incredibly bad. In every way, the confrontation with T, the way he walked up on her and Kyle talking, the way
Oh,
he
like,
everything. And there
but
was a
then
quote that
also,
he said, he said, everything for me is working flawlessly. I was, if you ever say that in a confessional, you
it's
are
true.
going home. You are going home. Like that, like,
Exactly.
like the producer has tricked you that you are so delusional that you are going home.
Which they do. I don't care. Sorry.
They do.
Like,
Yes.
I'm like,
And I loved Sue on this episode too because she is like she's just rolling her eyes. She can see through
exactly. And then
the
telling
craziness.
I was so pissed during tribal. I was like, shut up, because we don't need to go chronological order, Harrison. But yes,
No, I'm not.
when he comes back and he's like, now I'm gonna go head back to camp and I'm gonna just go lead the charge and tell everyone what to do. Get the hell out of here. Also, like Sue doesn't need to be told how to play the game. Sue doesn't
Yeah.
know Sue doesn't need your direction. Sue doesn't need to be. Sue knows how to play the damn game. That was pissing me off. How he's like, well, if you watched Survivor, or what are the quotes that everybody uses? Well, in the game of Survivor,
In the
shut
game of
up. I
Survivor.
hate tribal council. Can we get people who just like say Cracker Jack or something? It's annoying. I don't care about analogies. It's everybody just trying to suck up and be cute to Jeff, and we don't need it. Like, just be yourself. And that's what Sue was bringing. She was like, yep, good. She was just natural, in my opinion. She just spoke. Same with that other guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yep.
need people try too hard at tribal. I'm not like I'm just saying in general. Shut up.
Who has tried the hardest compared for both tribes that have gone
I like this. I'm not even saying this season. I'm just saying in
in
general.
general?
It's annoying.
Okay, so
Danny from
who
our
on our
season.
season
Danny, duh. It was like
it is
it's
interesting
true.
how there are
Even
people
you too,
who
Carson, but you were a natural at it. And I would say Kane as well, but Kane, again, it was a natural thing for Kane to speak that way. It was
well,
natural.
and I think for me it was all about I just want to say something without saying anything. You know what I mean?
I
And
was
and,
just
and
like,
just
don't call on me.
well, you and Jeff had some words sometimes.
Because
Okay,
it's
but then
annoying. It's just so fake. And so again, it's like I just like when tribal's real. And I get that we have to like we're playing the game and we have to like be sneaky and stuff. But it's like these it just got to a point where it's like people we were like almost like Googling like what analogy could I use? You probably were trying to think of analogies you could use on Survivor before you went out there. Did you not?
I
Yeah, you did.
probably did. I think I felt insecure at one point because I'm not naturally someone who makes like these like really like cutesy analogies,
Nobody
between
does.
like a
Dude,
pepper
no one
dish and
talks.
a egg. I don't, and so I remember feeling that pressure as a super fan. As seeing like people like Christian, and you want to be Christian, and you want to be this like
Exactly.
analogy
And it
person.
started to like trickle down and it
Trickle,
became this thing. And then I'm gonna
but
in the front. I'm
I
in the
don't
front of the
think
bus and you're in the back
I
of the bus. Boop, boop. Like, what?
I don't think I ever was shown to say an analogy though. And maybe that was for the better because like I just don't say them. I say what I and maybe I'm just not like an
Exactly.
eloquent speaker. I'm an engineer. I don't think
You are
that
an
way.
eloquent speaker. You are an eloquent speaker, but you are, it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? The annoying. Anyways, so Sue wasn't having that. And I
And
saw.
then okay, I was shocked by this. Gabe played his idol out of nowhere. And so not
Oh, I'm
only
pissed at
did
him too.
why did he play that on himself?
I looked at that as like, you know how sometimes we get nervous? This is how my brain took
Yeah,
that. Do you know
you're
how
right.
sometimes we get nervous when Jeff asks a question? And so it
Yep.
was like he probably was waiting last minute. And like, even like how I waited forever to play that for you, I was like battling in my head and like, he could have been like, Carolyn, are you going to play? And I could have been like, pizza roll. Because you're so nervous sometimes and you're in your head. So I think that he like Jeff asked him the question and he just like
He was just like,
and
yeah,
just farted it out and wasn't even thinking. He wasn't, because did he only have one tribal to use it?
maybe, but like, why wouldn't he have played that for Sue? He
Yeah,
knew they
I
were
was
going after
pissed.
Sue.
At least play it for Sue. I
That
mean,
was
she
crazy.
him. So that was, I don't even think that was like a case of paranoia. I think that that was like literally a case of like poop and then it just came out. He got nervous.
Have we ever talked about the way tribal smells? Because it smells like kerosene in a really good way. Like if whenever I'm walking somewhere with kerosene, it brings me back to tribal council where you have that like warm air from the torches and stuff and the smell of
I'm getting
kerosene.
it. Yeah, I'm getting it right now.
Like, yes, I whenever I watch it, like, or I just kind of picture myself there in that
It's
way.
so cool.
Um,
Like it is. It's
it
so
really
freaking
is.
cool. It's one of those things, and I like I'll always be grateful for that. And it's like you were going to tribal, and it sucks, but especially the first time, it's so freaking cool. The set, the everything, the detail that they put into everything, it's incredible. And I'll say the same thing about traders. Like it's like holy crap, this is where I am right now, and it is freaking gorgeous. We have this like the beautiful castle. We have this beautiful, like they take it so seriously as far as like the wardrobe, the everything is so perfect. It's so cool. And Survivor's the same way. You know, I used to be like that with like the art department. I mean, before we even
Hmm.
ate the food for the reward, I was like, please tell the art department how good of a job that they did with this. The detail, like burritos, 25 cents. It was so cool.
It really was. The level of
Yeah.
detail they put in, even in tribal council too,
Gorgeous.
where they have like you would think
So
like, oh, there's just a big production set like there is when you're at a challenge. No, it really does feel like you're alone there with Jeff because all of the cameras are really dark and they're hidden behind like black boxes where they hide, and there's probably like 100
I'm not
people
even
there,
talking
but
about that. I'm talking about Carson. I'm talking about like how cool the details are with the
oh
set.
yeah, the have you looked at the where they're voting, the voting booth? Like, is there anything that stood out? I don't remember it like off the top of my head. Like ours was really
No,
cool.
it hasn't. Like I can only think of ours
Yeah.
because I would always creep around that room. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to be back and talk about what's giving Carolyn life and what's puzzling me this week, in addition to talking about some things I've heard in the survivor community. We'll be back.
Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Get Tribal. Is that a new shirt, Carson? Is that the one that you had during, or is that the same background? Yeah, I need that shirt. I need a new one of yours because it completely faded out. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I'll get you NASA shirt. I love sending people NASA
No, I
merch.
like the one that says Carson,
Oh, you're talking about like my merch store
the old
stuff.
school one. Look at that shine.
I don't think you're that shiny.
I am a glowworm. Anyway,
Okay, Carolyn, what is giving you life this week?
girl. So, not that shine cluster. I like, okay. Oh, I'll tell you. Do you want to know the first thing that came to my head?
Yeah.
I'm really excited for my son to be playing the trumpet. So that's what I'm thinking. That's like the first thing that came to my head. Um,
I didn't know
I
he
love,
got he chose the trumpet.
yes. And then I was like, I was talking to him and I'm like, girl, coach plays the trumpet and is like super good at it. And then I told Luca, I was like, I'm going to order a trumpet too. Like, not like, because his is expensive. I'm going to get like a less expensive one. Um, And then like, yeah, I'm like that would be fun, but I love like music and I love like just playing and not necessarily being great or good. But I told him I'm excited to just it was so even when he was playing the ukulele and learning, he learned before I could even learn. So it's like I'm really excited to just see how he improves and how great he's going to be. And then I want to get one too and he'll probably have to teach me, but
Oh, and then and I can play the piano and sing.
exactly. We can be a band. So I'm excited. I like genuinely, I'm excited. And then I'm like, of course, yeah.
That's fun. Okay, so this week, what's puzzling me? I'll tell you what I'm struggling with right in this moment is there is a hurricane in Atlanta, Georgia right now, and I need to get somewhere, but I can't decide is it worth it to leave and go back to my house and like, figure things out there, or
No,
do I just stay and like wait it out?
I want
I
the
don't know.
puzzling questions from now on because I have a lot of puzzlers too. But no,
What's your puzzling question, Carolyn?
I have none. But like, um,
Okay, I have a question. What do
hold
you
on.
do when someone sings you happy birthday and you're the birthday girl?
Wait, what? Is it my birthday?
Like, that awkward moment when someone's singing happy birthday to you, you don't know if you should sing, if you should like smile, should you
Are
clap?
you
Like,
listening to my cameos recently? Because I've been talking a lot about this in my
no, I
cameos.
haven't been.
So basically, I watched Sandra. Sandra posted a video and people were all singing happy birthday to her. And she was just like, yes. And she was like so excited and a part of the video. And I've noticed a trend of people. You're at a restaurant, it's celebrating your birthday. And what do people typically do? They like almost look down in shame or they're like, don't sing to me. And I'm trying to like, what I'm trying to spread is like, no, put your head up high. If you want to sing, sing. If you don't want to sing, don't sing. But my point is, like we're celebrating you. Put your head up. Tell everybody to sing louder if you have to. Do you know what I'm saying? Stop putting your head down.
I like that.
Sandra
That's good advice.
Sandra knows how to do it. And I watched her and she was just like, yes, it was celebrating. Otherwise, people have these like, there's nothing awkward about celebrating your birthday unless you make it awkward. So put your head held, hold your, it's too late. Sorry. Hold your head up high. Yes. Yeah. You deserve that. You deserve for people to
Maybe
sing.
okay, maybe it's because the happy birthday song is kind of awkward. Like I'm more in the mood for like a happy birthday to that one. That one's my favorite. Is that one like you actually just want to like kind of like I don't
But
know.
that's the thing. Like you just look around at the people who love you and just embrace it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if you are enjoying me and Carolyn's podcast thus far, and you haven't either subscribed to us on YouTube or added us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or even better, joined our Patreon, maybe you should consider. We would really appreciate it. It helps us with numbers and stuff. And we're going to be talking more in detail about this in our Patreon Tikati Talkie segment. But Carolyn, I want to just briefly touch on
Yes,
the.
I will answer your question.
Go
So
ahead.
I did. You're wondering if Cochran texted back.
I was.
What do we think?
I was thinking no. If you don't
I'm,
know,
I'm persistent.
Carolyn is pursuing Cochrane.
Not like that, girl. Okay, so this girl, he completely go like good. I thought we could be friends. Nope, he didn't write back, and I lied and said I was Carson. I go, hey, it's Carson. Like what? I'm sorry. Like what did I do to you, Cochran? I'm sick of it.
I don't know. You posted a flower bouquet on your Instagram story and said thanks, Cochrane, and hearts.
Good. Is that too much? I don't care. I like people.
And the
I just
best part is he responded to you and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't send those."
actually, I'm gonna take a moment. Let me take a moment right now to just say that, like, there's a lot of people in this world who just don't. I will do a lot of jokes like that. And it's like, most people don't have the confidence to do that type of stuff. It's like, that's embarrassing. That's weird. I don't care.
So is it confidence or is it that you're just bored?
No, no, no,
Yep.
Carson. No,
That's so true.
yeah, I'm bored, Carson.
I
No,
knew it.
anyway, next week. So yeah, basically, so I'll land in LA tomorrow and Cochrane's get me from the airport.
Okay, yes. But all right, what I was really going to talk about that we're going to go into more detail about in the Tiki Tiki Taki Patreon segment
Asshole.
is is I feel, and you correct me if I'm wrong, and I've talked to other people about this as well, but it's very interesting watching people interact in person on social media at events, specifically within the Survivor community, and specifically looking at Survivor previous contestants and
Oh, it's
how
terrifying meeting people in real life. I always, the first thing I say to them is, "Are you anything like your social media presence? If you're not, like, girl, there's been, you know what I'm
well,
saying?"
I think everyone to an extent is not real on social media, but except Tori Meehan. But um, I think that people try to like suck up to Survivor and like try to like get them to like them by like commenting on every post they do. And in no way do I think that's wrong or like I'm not hating on this, by the way. I just find it interesting to watch how people,
Oh,
especially ramping up for season 50,
are you talking
have been
about me?
no, have
Oh,
been
I don't care.
especially prevalent trying to go to all the events and like be a part of it and like it's just interesting to watch like how there are people who just want nothing to do with it and then people who are trying to grasp at every second at their like last level of fame. And yes, you could say that about me and Carolyn doing our podcast, but
Yeah,
we really just do this to have fun and talk to each other.
that's not true.
Like
I hate you, but
I
I
hate
feel like
you.
you're being a hater right now, Carson.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm saying it's interesting to watch because what's even more interesting is watching people who I think will never even be asked to be so almost desperate. Yes, I said it. There are so people, the Survivor people who played, some of them are so desperate and it's awkward and cringy. I said it. It is.
Grr, don't go breaking my heart.
You're not desperate, nor are you cringy, Carolyn. But there
Yes,
are
I'm
people.
both. I
No,
am
you're
both.
not. No, you're not.
Cochran
We'll
would.
talk about who we think is desperate and cringy in the
No one.
Patreon segment.
I am.
Well, also people just act weird. Like I mean, I feel like I've been getting, I'll say it, calls from other Survivor
I
contestants.
haven't been. They don't even answer my
You
calls.
have to out of the
No,
blue,
I
like
don't.
people I haven't talked to in years, and
I'm
frankly, I
not.
don't
They're
think I would
calling
be
me back,
asked.
and you know who you are. But like the people who did answer this week, thank you. I really enjoyed our conversations.
Ooh, so
Those
are you
like
talking about the Survivor New Era Catan chat that no one ever talks about?
yeah, I'll call that whole chat out. I put my number in there. Not well. The people know who. There were a few
So
who
what?
reached.
So what it started as was there was for about like the first 41 and 42, and then in that season 43 had started this Catan group chat on Instagram, and so everyone would schedule times to play Catan. Eventually, no one wanted to be excluded from this chat, and so every single person like practically in the new era has been added to this chat. So if anything,
There's
it's
so
like
many
a
different ones. There's so many
there's
different
so
chats.
yes, so it's like a new era chat, and it is awkward as crap.
Is it?
Like, yes.
Why?
everyone looks at each other's messages, but nobody responds.
And
And
I
then
keep
Carolyn's
responding, and
in
I'm
there.
like, I see all of you. You know what? Why don't you call me?
Yes, and then you'll say things like, "I know those who picked up my phone call this week," and then everyone's like on edge. It like, girl, you are going crazy in there.
Good. Don't be scared of me. I'm sick of it. But the person, like the peoples that did call, it was great calls and great conversation. So the rest of you are missing out.
Yeah. So, and I'm sorry if you're
You
someone listening to
lost.
this and you were on Survivor and you're not in the Catan chat. Just message me. I'll add you. I have no
Oh,
shame.
you're the you hold the you are the one you have
No,
the
anyone can add anyone. I think.
I tried to add Cochran. I couldn't.
Oh, that's at. Wait, we should add some people tonight. That would be fun.
Exactly.
Or wait, what if we started our own chat
No.
called the Pre-Gamers Chat? I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. No, that's
I'm
so
just trying
stupid.
to play Catan, Carson.
Oh, that's what it is. People think that you're just playing Catan, but you're really pre-gaming.
No, I'm not. I
Mm,
love Catan.
you hate Catan. You are awful at Catan.
Anyway, I'll be in the Catan chat. Where's Ricard? Ugh. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you all for listening, and we will be back next week. And hope you all have an amazing weekend or rest of your week. Bye.
Girl.